Good evening and welcome to Discovering the Treasures of Homeownership Smart Money Moves webinar series. It is 2021, a new year with new opportunities to level up. Tonight's topic is investing in yourself, turning your talent into a business. Brought to you by the Treasure Coast, Florida chapter of the Links Incorporated and presented by Truist Bank. I am Tanya Lowe, one of the program coordinators. Before we get started, please mute your device and use the chat area for your questions. Also, for the best presentation experience, please change your view to speaker view. Tonight, backed by popular demand, we have two dynamic experts with us this evening. We have Dawn Bloomfield and Kathy Hendricks of Truist Bank. Kathy Hendricks is currently the Gatlin Port St. Lucie branch leader with BB&T, which is now known as Truist Bank. She's been in banking for the past 23 years, and she's been with BB&T for 12 years now as a branch leader. Her banking career started as a teller, and she's held various positions within banking, including a loan officer and mortgage officer. Kathy has a passion for sharing her knowledge with the community to help inspire them and build better lives. We also have Dawn Bloomfield. Dawn is an experienced banking executive with more than 24 years of extensive banking experience. As a branch leader, Dawn is entrusted to create strategies to grow business opportunities while maintaining existing relationships. She has worked with numerous businesses and individuals, identifying each individual client's needs and assisting them in making sound financial decisions. She is an ambassador for the Port St. Lucie Chamber of Commerce, past president of Port St. Lucie Rotary Noon Club, a member of the Black Women's Roundtable, and is currently the president of the Caribbean American Cultural Group, Incorporated. Dawn is a local resident of Port St. Lucie. Her son, Daniel, is her pride and joy. We welcome you, Dawn and Kathy.
Thank you, Tanya. And good evening, everyone. Thank you to all the members of Treasure Coast Links. Thank you for the opportunity and the partnership with BB&T, now Truist, and Kathy and myself to share this valuable information to the community. This is one of my passion. As Tanya said before, I've been in banking now for 24 years, and helping clients achieve their economic success. That's one of my passion and something that I truly enjoy doing. Kathy, do you have anything to say there before I dive right in?
I totally agree with Dawn, and I'm happy to be on here with her.
Awesome. So thank you, Kathy, and participants, please, it's going to be very interactive, so don't be bashful about it. We're just going to have a conversation. Today's topic is growing your business, but before we talk about that, I'll just give you a brief overview of BB&T, our banking on your success program. First, we have the banking basics, and that is basically for people who do not know anything about banking. We tend to teach that to the students, high school students going off to college. We just did our budgeting in a crisis in November. Previous to that, we did family in budgeting, but because of COVID and the pandemic that we're currently in, we pivoted and created the budgeting in a crisis. And this class today is also a follow-up of that presentation as well. We do have the becoming a homeowner, because we do believe that everyone needs to have a piece of the American pie, and that is through home ownership. And then, of course, we talk about growing your business, and that's why we're here this evening to talk about, what tools can we give you to enhance your business and grow your business. So for this evening, the course will help you gain knowledge and tools needed in order for you to manage and grow your business. Some of the critical elements we will discuss today are personal and business finances. We'll talk about cash flow. We'll talk about merchant services as well, borrowing solutions, insurance, as well as employees. As I said before, it's going to be very interactive. We do have some prizes, so please take notes, pay attention, because we'll be asking questions as we go along. We do believe that mastering each of these topics will help you attain a stronger and more vibrant financial future. As the course progresses, please ask questions. As I said, we'll have the chat room, so please ask questions as you go along. Of course, no two businesses are the same. So before we start this course, and I do believe that this workbook was emailed to everyone, so we do have access to it. I'm going to ask you to start thinking about your personal business and your needs. And then also just write down your answers as we ask these questions. So of course, I'm on page 3. How long have you been in business? So just write that down. We'll talk about that later. What are your annual sales? And I do believe that we may have some new business owners, and new entrepreneurs, new bosses on the line as well, because I do know that as a result of COVID-19, a lot of us decided, okay, it is time to become our own boss. So nothing is wrong with that. Kudos to anyone who decided to start that journey. And where do you see your business in 5 years? What things do you need to know or learn to get you there? So can I have someone in the chat put how long they've been in business, please? Let me see who that person will be, the first one. Need to see who's in the audience. Kathy, you're gonna manage that for me, please. Anyone care to share? How long have you been in business? 5th, okay, so I see Miss Roxy says 15 years. That's nice, congrats, Roxy. Anyone else? Do we have any first-time business owner? Maybe 6 months, a month, 3 months? No?
I guess Roxy's the only one here today with us.
No? Okay, as I said before, don't be shy. We're going to make it very, very interactive. So Roxy, 15 years in business, congratulations, and 15 years going strong. And I do know that you are with Care back there too as well. So I'll talk to you about that. We're okay, nice. We do have a future business owner. Thank you, Wilbur. And hopefully you'll be able to learn something from tonight's presentation to take you to that leap of faith. He's going to step out on faith. Okay, so we talk about, we will go into the objectives as well from the program. Thank you, Tanya, 13 years. So we'll be talking about separating your business and personal finances. As a banker, I can tell you that I see it every day where clients do not know that we need to separate your personal finances from your business. And now we do know that there are a lot of money out there with the PPP and the SBA EIDL. A lot of our clients are currently utilizing their personal accounts for these funds. And when it gets to the bank, they are being returned because it's not used for business purposes. So tonight we will be addressing that as well. We will talk about managing cash flow. You need to know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, what's going on with your business. We will also be talking about using the right technology to keep your business up to date. In the day of virtual and COVID, no longer face-to-face, we have to get creative and make sure that we're staying with the relevant technology to get us to the next step. We also need to know credit options as well when the need arises, especially for our new, for future business owner, started businesses, we need to know what options are available then. Also, we will talk about insurance as well to protect you from the unexpected. So every business owner needs to have insurance, so we'll be talking about that as well. And of course, I'm quite sure some of us do have employees, and some of us will think about having employees in the future. So at that time, we will know exactly what do we need to do to hire the right employee for your business. Okay? All right, so the first one is how can I keep my personal and business accounts separate? So can someone, I guess, in the chat then tell me how do you do that?
How do you keep your personal and business accounts separate?
No part, no, remember we have some gifts.
All right, so Mrs. Harold
You
says
open,
have two accounts.
hello.
Go ahead,
And
Kathy.
Oh,
Mrs. Harold says have two accounts, and Roxy Brown says separate accounts.
And what do you mean by separate accounts?
I think she means a personal account and a business account.
That is correct.
Perfect, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. You have a personal account for your personal finances and the business account as well. So at least you're not commingling, because at the end of the year, when you need to file your taxes, your accountant need to know, okay, what is personal and what is business. So we need to be able to differentiate that. And the IRS, Uncle Sam, will love you if you do not differentiate your affairs. All
And Ms.
right. So let's go into opening a new business account. For the aspiring entrepreneurs on the line, opening a new business account for some people, it can be very, very daunting, because you have various types of account, meaning various structures of account. We do have what we call a sole prop, which is using your name, a fictitious name filing, or a DBA. In that case, we will be using your social security number. We can also do an LLC or an S Corp or C Corp. But most small businesses end up doing an S Corp, not a C Corp. C Corp is for the major corporation. So does anyone know what do we need to open an account at the bank? What items do we need? Okay, to open a new account, then we will need to have social security number, of course, date of birth. We do need to have your full personal address, as well as identification, whether it being the passport, driver's license, or an ID card, and also now the individual percentage of ownership. This is something that the percent of ownership, that is something new. It's a new regulation that came out about 2-3 years now, Kathy. Whereas each time you need to open a business account as a bank, we need to know who are the controlling persons, who have interest in the business, and who will be benefiting from the business. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. So that's it for the business owner that we need. For the business side, we talk about having an EIN or a federal tax ID number, the business incorporation details and issue date, and that is something that can be found on SunBiz, the business address, and current bank information. But if you're a brand new business owner, then you would not have a current bank information. So I know people may ask, okay, well, how do I go about getting registered? So I'm gonna go on to page 6. Before I go there though, in terms of registering the business, so of course you have, as a business owner, you have to ask yourself, what type of business do I want to do? How would I want to structure my business? So even if you're doing a fictitious name filing, which we call a DBA, you still file that with sunbiz.org. And that fictitious name filing is good for 5 years. Of course, it's a $50 fee for that registration. Most of my startup clients, just starting out, they want to go that route. So they do the $50, and that's good for 5 years. Now, also for the LLC, you'll register as well on SunBiz, who will be your partners, your members, managers, etc. All that details will be on it. including the registered agent, and the same thing applies to the incorporation. Okay, any question there? All right,
So
go ahead,
we
Kathy.
had one question. Wilbur wanted to know what an EIN is. So Wilbur, an EIN is similar to a social security number for a business. You can register on irs.gov for that EIN number. It is a free service that they offer, and it's very simple to go through.
Thank you, Kathy. It's very simple, and also instantaneously, if you go to the website and do it electronically, they send it to you via email immediately, and also send you a copy of it in the mail. And that is something that you need to keep, because that is personal to your business. And that's the number that you will need also when you're filing your taxes for the business. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, all right,
Yes.
so yes.
Sorry. Alicia wanted to know if the slides are going to be available for future use, if they want to refer back to them. I believe when you registered, you were sent out the workbook, and these slides are basically your workbook. So you should have that given to you in a PDF form. If you don't, I'm sure you can contact the presenter and we can get it out to you.
Okay. And so is it time to give a gift, Kathy?
Sounds like a great time.
All right, so I'm gonna ask for the person, for the business owner, name the 5 items that we would need to open a business account. And Roxy can't participate.
5 items you would need to have available to open a business account. Hopefully you have your workbooks out. Yes, Mrs. Elizabeth Jackson said the workbook was emailed to all the participants. So if you look through for that email, probably where you registered, you should see that in a PDF file. And the answer to this question will be in that workbook. It was on a slide as well. It's not a trick question. We gave you the answer. If you don't know 5, write what you do know. All right, so Miss Candace says your social security number or your EIN number and your name. So those are 2 of the things.
2.
Absolutely. What else would the bank need to know?
What other information do we normally ask? Roxy, you can participate.
I'll give you a hint. It's the first day you were ever in the hospital. And hopefully the only time.
The first time you arrive, right?
There you go. Miss Candace answered again with birthdays. Perfect.
Okay. We need, Beverly is almost there. We need one more, Wilbur. Where can we find you?
Yep. How do we know where you live?
Kathy, you basically gave it away.
Miss Candace got that with her address. And
Okay.
there is actually one other
Yes.
individually, and yes, Roxy answered that with a valid government issued ID, whether it be a passport, a driver's license, or a Florida ID, or another state. Any of those will work.
Okay, so I'm not sure who you'll be giving the gift to, because it seems as if it was all teamwork. So look back through the chat and see who got the most Kathy, and then we'll make a recommendation to Elizabeth.
Say Candace Stone will be the winner for that.
Okay, and Miss Elizabeth will tell her at the end of the event, what did she win? $25 to wear. Maybe Red Lobster, my favorite place. Okay, so let's move on to cash flow, right? So cash flow statement, yes, that is where are we at? No, I'm actually on page 6. So we talk about collecting money. Who are your customers and how do they pay you? How do you make your payments? How do you pay your bills? That's making your payment. And how do you manage your money day to day? So can someone tell me, how do you currently pay your bills or your employees?
All right, don't be shy. I know you all want to win. Miss Beverly Simmons said through payroll.
Nice. So she used the payroll services, ADP. Okay. Who else? What other method do you use to pay your bills?
Mr. Wilbur Jordan says via a check.
Correct.
Is a great way to pay your bills so that you have a record of it.
All right, QuickBooks, like that, automated.
Uses QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm. What else? Pay your bills too. How do you pay your bills? Not just the employees. Perfect. Go ahead, Mr. Jordan. Good job. Credit card, awesome. And then the one that I would add to that also is by ACH debit, or even through wire transfer as well. Okay, so those are all methods that you use to pay your bills. In terms of collecting your money, how do you get paid? How do you collect from your clients?
There you go, Apple Pay.
All right, you see?
That is a very common one these days.
Yes.
Or the Cash App.
Wonderful, yes. Oh, wow. See, Wilbur, it's all tech on us. Okay, Zelle,
Yeah.
okay.
We got PayPal and the Cash App, so.
Perfect.
Those
How
are great.
how else do we collect?
Well, Miss Helen said via a check, which is absolutely correct as well.
Right.
Or the Square.
Okay.
And
Cash, check,
another
credit
good
card,
answer,
ACH.
cash. Cash card or ACH.
Awesome, because cash is king there. So those are all methods that we use to collect, and also we can go back again to also do a wire transfer into the account. Of course, I think, as I said, cash is always king. I love ACH because those goes in and that's available right away. Check, sometimes you may have issues with check payment, because dependent on the bank and the relationship with the bank, you may not have those funds immediately available to you. There may be a 2-day hold, a 7-day hold. And do you know what happened when there's a hold on your funds? What happened to your cash flow? Ms. Tanya, can you unmute? Go ahead, Ms. Tanya.
That was Kathy. I said there is none. So it's null and void.
Exactly. So that cash flow now is basically disappear, because you no longer you can't use those funds until 7 days. So if you're able to get your ACH cash wires, I would say, or even through merchant services, they said Venmo, Square, BB&T merchant services, then I would say, those are the method that I would recommend that you get your payment through. We also know. Go ahead, Kathy.
One other potential pitfall of accepting checks is the check could not be good as well. So your client has already used your services or your merchandise, and unfortunately, you may not be able to collect on that check as well.
Right. Has anyone ever experienced that? Quite sure, right? And it's pretty expensive too, because when that check gets returned, then the bank is also charging you now a return check fee. And also that item to that return, that check that returned, may also cause your account to go into a snowball effect, because you may have already spent that money and now it got returned to the bank, now putting you into overdraft, and you may have other accounts, other checks rather. And why did my thing just go away? Oh, Lord.
You're back. You're back, Dawn.
Oh, okay. Yes. So once again, if you can avoid taking checks, then I would recommend that, unless it is someone that you do have a good relationship with. And sometimes even when you know your clients, things happen to them as well. Okay, so just be extra careful. Now, on page 7, we talk about doing a cash flow statement. We look at your cash and at the beginning of the month. So basically, you are reconciling your account. We look at your cash receipts. Perfect. Your cash sales, your returns, your collections, and also loan proceeds as well. So then you will total those. That will give you your total cash available on the hand right there. Now we're going to go into the cash paid out. What are you paying out for advertising? Are you paying commissions? Are you paying fees? Do you have contract labor? Do you have 1099 employees? How about your employee benefit programs? Do you offer that? Insurance other than health? Do you have interest expense? You may have a mortgage that you have on the building. Of course, you will have to pay interest expense on that, and your materials and your supplies. How about meals and entertainment? If you take clients out, you have to put that out, because that is money that you'll be paying out, and also your office expenses. So of course, then you will total that as well. We go into it's listed there in your guide. We talk about utilities as well, the rent, your leases, anything that you pay out then must be listed there as your cash paid out, and then you'll do a subtotal. Now after that, then you will do your cash, your ins and your out. At the end of the day, what number are you looking for when you do all your ins and your out? What are you hoping for at the end? We have a gift for someone. When you do all your ins and out, your cash ins and your payments, what number are you hoping for?
All right, so Mrs. Lowe placed hope for more ins than outs, and Beverly said the net income, which are both correct.
Definitely. So you're hoping to have a positive, a net, and all right, Wilbur, profit. See, you are ready to open that business. Yes, thank you for that. And now we can go on to page 8, how to optimize your cash flow. So what are your biggest expense at the moment?
In the chat box, what is your biggest expense usually for any business?
Awesome. Yes, that's a good one. Turner, yes. Payroll, yes. What else?
It's probably one of your highest personal bills as well. There you go.
Awesome, Miss Beverly. Good job. Mortgage or rent? What else?
Yep, Miss Alyssa said rent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Advertise.
David says insurance,
Mhm.
and Tanya says advertising, utilities.
Yes. Yes, yes. So all those are some of the biggest operating expense that you have to take into account for your business. So at the previous example that we did before, I was asking what number are you hoping to get when you do your ins and your out, your ins and out at the end of the month. What number are you expecting to get? Now, if you have a deficit there, are there areas that you think you could cut cost in? Right? So at that time, we will look at your insurance, because some of your expenses are set expenses. You can't do anything about that, especially if you have payroll, unless you're gonna get rid of employees. So, and that I would not recommend that. Your mortgage and your rent, those are standard set. So we will have to look at other areas that we can cut back on expenses. So we look at the insurances and the utilities. Anything else that anyone can think of that you could cut back on? Perfect. Thank you, Miss Beverly. I think Miss Beverly needs to get one of those gift cards.
I do believe she did the run.
Anything else that you think we can cut back on? How about client entertainment? You think that would be a good one?
Absolutely.
Yes. So if when you balance at the end of the month and you're definitely having a negative cash flow, then I would recommend just look at areas that you think that you can make some cut in to bring that number to 0, so you can at least start making a profit. Ways to optimize your accounts payable and account receivable processes. We do have most times some company will take 90 days. That's average for them to actually to pay you. Now, if they're taking 90 days to pay you, then of course that also will hurt your cash flow then. Now, some of my business clients, they have their, I'm going to use the BB&T business credit card. Now, we give you 30 days to pay that credit card. Some of the clients, the moment they get that bill, they're going to the bank to make that payment. I would refrain from doing that, because if I give you 30 days to pay, then at least you will have another 25 to 29 days basically to utilize that cash flow, and do not put yourself into a deficit. Okay, going back. Yes. So there are ways that you can optimize your accounts payable and receivable there. If you do have vendors that you have been working with for a long time, then maybe you may also want to negotiate that contract with them. So instead of them putting you 90 days, maybe they'll give you 30 days, right? So let's see if we can renegotiate those contracts as well. Now we're going to move over into the merchant services, which help you to increase your sales and streamline your cash flow with the right technology. Someone talked about earlier using Square as a merchant account. Now, when you do accept merchant, of course, you get your funds more than likely the next day, and there is no waiting on it. Kathy, you want to chime in there? So she's not there?
No, I'm here. I think that obviously is one of the benefits of using the merchant, is that the funds are available the next day. It makes sure from your provider that is true. And then as well as the cash apps, that money generally is available to you right away. I know that Zelle is. I know that some of the cash apps, you have to pay a fee to have it done immediately. But as far as merchant services, we always suggest that you also do your research when you accept the merchant service. Know if you're getting into a contract, if you have an early termination fee, what the fee for accepting the cards are going to be. And just like we encourage you to shop your insurance, shop your merchant services as well, and make sure that you are always using the best one to optimize your cash flow and your expenses.
Thank you, Kathy. And I know that we do have tons of merchant services available right now. We have Clover. We talk about Square, and there's so many others. So just shop around to make sure that it's the right fit for you and for your business. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you get to spend, it's whatever you get to keep. But then if you're able to accept merchant services, it helps to streamline your cash flow, making it easier for the business. So I would recommend go ahead and sign up for that. Reach out to your bank and see whether or not they do offer it, and if that would be a good fit for your business. Wilbur's asking, does merchant service have online real-time reporting? I do believe so, Wilbur, but I am not the expert in merchant services. So that is something that I could research and get back with you there. Kathy, do you know the answer to that question?
I think it would depend on the program that you have. Some of them obviously will, and some of them will not. Usually when you swipe the card, you will get a confirmation number that it has been authorized, so that you know you can give that merchandise or services away. But as far as reporting, Wilbur, are you talking about going directly to your checking account? Or are you talking to, most merchant services also have a program where you look to see how many cards you've swiped, etc.
And I do believe too, it depends also on when the transaction was done too, because if it's on the weekend, then that will roll back onto Monday. And if Monday is a holiday too, then that will roll back to Tuesday as well.
I guess you can kind of compare that to your own checking account statement when you use your debit card or credit card. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days for that purchase to post. That is because it's going through a merchant service. So those are the capabilities of that and how your funds would be available.
And also dependent on the vendor too, whether or not that bank is using a third-party vendor to process their merchant processing as well. Okay, so any other questions regarding merchant services? Okay, so I'm moving on to my favorite part. That is on page 10, borrowing solutions. Can someone tell me some examples of why you would want to borrow? Why would you need a loan for the business? No idea yet? Okay, expanding. Go, Miss Beverly. Yes, business expansion. Yes. What else?
We definitely all want to grow our business.
We just spoke about it, not prior to the merchant. Yes. Thank you, Wilbur. Yes. We spoke about a critical one prior to we discussing merchant processing. Cash flow, that definitely yes. That's one of the main reasons most of my small business clients come in and ask Kathy or myself for a business line of credit to help manage cash flow. Because if we're going to wait on our people to pay us about 90 days, then we need to have at least some money to use until we get that receivable. So that's a very good one, Ms. Tanya. Thank you for sharing. So we talk about expansion, inventory, and also cash flow. Anything else that you could think of? Kathy, anything else that you think of that we missed there?
I think the cash flow covers a lot of different things. Obviously, it could be payroll, It could be purchasing a building.
Mhm.
It could be for equipment. It could be for a vehicle for the business.
Right, business expansion. Awesome. All right, so now on the same page, well, do we have, is that there in terms of that matching game, how to let's check your knowledge to see what type of loan would you think we would use to secure assets against your asset as collateral. Do we have that one in the slide? Can I go to the next slide? Let me see if that's there, please.
It shows in the workbook, so I'm not sure if it's in this slide. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So it's a matching game, and the answers are at the bottom of the page, and that is page 10 in your workbook. So as it says, every situation is different, so it's imperative to choose the right option for your business and for you. So we're just going to ask the first person, look at the answers at the bottom, whether it's equipment loans, SBA loans, unsecured, revolving lines of credit, term loans, secured, or loans. Give the answers. So the first person to put the answer there, get a gift. So what would you use as, which loan would you use secured against your asset as collateral, giving some security to the lender? Which of those loans would you use?
I can't wait to see who's first. I'm going to type pretty soon here. It's in there for you.
It's securing your assets. You're using it as collateral.
There you go.
Oh,
Wilbur.
oh, right. Wilbur is on the roll. I'm telling you, he is ready to open that business.
What kind of business are you opening, Wilbur?
How about the next one is supported by your credit worthiness and obtained without the use of collateral. Which one would you use? So I'm just using your credit to give you that loan. Oh my God, Wilbur, are you sure you need to be on this?
Scared. Mrs. McDaniel says unsecured as well.
Perfect.
And if everyone else is wondering, Wilbur is looking to open a bookstore.
I hope it's here in Port St. Lucie. And the next one is paid off at fixed intervals over a set period of time. What would you use? Compared to your, all right, Miss Beverly, good job. Yes.
Perfect.
And yes, great choice. And the other is reduce risk for lenders, making it easier for business owners to get a loan if they don't qualify for traditional financing. Let me see if Wilbur's going to get that one. We're looking at reduce risk for lenders, make it easier for business owners to get a loan if they don't qualify for traditional.
So this is an entity that helps the bank if you don't meet the qualifiers.
And support small business. All right, see Wilbur again.
There you go. SBA loan.
SBA loans, yes, and you know we're seeing a lot of that now with COVID-19, where the government has given so much money, trillions of dollars to the SBA to help small businesses. And most times, yes, especially for startup business, when you come to the bank because you do not have your credit established as yet, then the bank may want to guarantee that loan with an SBA loan. So good job. All right, the next one is helps finance the cost of equipment by spreading out the costs. Who's gonna get that one?
There you go.
Mrs.
McDaniel's equipment loan. Perfect.
Yes, she is on a roll.
Ophelia.
How about one-time lump sum extensions of credit paid through periodic consistent installments? One-time lump sum. One-time lump sum. I'm going to give you, come down, I need to get a loan for my business. Oh, sorry. I think I just gave it away. Did anyone catch that?
This is a 4-letter word that Dawn said. There you go, Miss Helen. Well,
Thank
good
you, Miss
job.
Ellen. Yes, you got that one. Yes, it's a one-time. It's not revolving. The unsecured loan or the revolving lines. No. So the next one is a flexible option where a set borrowing limit is extended to a consumer and funds can be borrowed again later after the money is repaid. I wonder what's that. All right, Miss Ophelia. Good job.
Revolving.
Awesome. Yes, that would be a revolving, just like a business credit card. Use, pay, use, and pay. And let me just expand a little bit on the revolving lines of credit as well. If you do, I know for Truist, if we do give you a line of credit, a business line of credit, we want to make sure that that line is truly revolving. So if you get $50,000 as a loan, as a line rather, then we want to see you use it, but pay down. You can't just max it out at 50 and leave it there. At that time, it is no longer revolving. It now becomes a term loan. So just an heads up, FYI, if you do get a business line of credit, make sure that it revolves. Because if not, at the end of that extension, the maturity date, then the bank may decide, okay, well, you did not use it for purposes intended, and we will term that loan out for you. And sometimes, most times, it's at a higher interest rate. Kathy, anything to add to that?
That's one of the benefits of having all these different types of loans, is so that you can make sure you're matching what you're borrowing with the right loan type. So if you're buying a car, do a regular loan. If you're buying a piece of equipment for your shop or your bookstore, then get an equipment loan. If you have great credit, do an unsecured loan. But if you have collateral, the secured loan interest is always going to be lower for you than unsecured. So don't be afraid to use items that you have as collateral. Trust your instincts in your business that it's going to be profitable, and go ahead and use those items as collateral. The reason the bank gives you a lower interest rate is, God forbid something happens, we do have something collateralize that loan with. So that's why the rate is lower. A lot of people don't want to use their assets to secure loans, but if you're using it for the right purpose and the right intentions, there's absolutely no reason you can't do that.
Thank you, Kathy. And it also proved to the bank that you have some skin in the game as well. Okay. So I hope that you learned something there on lending. And I know that Wilbur will be a new startup business, and we do get a lot of those clients all the time. Well, what can I do, to get a loan? But a startup business is a business that has been in operations for 2 years or less at the time the loan is requested. A business that has been in operation for more than 2 years at the time may be considered a new business if it has changed ownership. Because on the new startup, we have not proven any sales, any track record. So at that time, it presents more of a risk to the bank. So that's why most times you go to the bank, you may not be able to find a bank that will fund you for startup, if you're going to depend on the revenue from the business to repay that loan. Now, if you do have another job that you have that reliable income coming in, then the bank may sometimes consider it, as well as if you have excellent score, to have the SBA back that loan as well, to help our startup businesses. But most times, you know, as a banker, it breaks my heart when someone come in like Wilbur who wants to open his bookstore and okay, Miss Dawn, I need to get a loan for $10,000-$15,000 and they can't. In that case, we do have like a business credit card with 0% for 9 months or 12 months, 15 months. And no, that's not the best way to start it. But then if you can get that business credit card in the business name and use it as a loan to help you build that business. Okay.
Wilbur is asking if land is a good collateral to use for a loan.
Well, do you want to answer, Kathy? You want me to answer?
So if you're talking about land as in a raw piece of land, most financial institutions these days will not lend against that because it's a raw piece of land. The value can go up and down, as we've seen in the real estate market here in the Treasure Coast in the past 10 years. However, if you have a house built on that land, and that is additional collateral, then usually people will do either a vehicle. Believe it or not, cash can be used as a collateral for people who are starting that have some cash but want to build credit for their business and or personally. Some people will use cash, vehicles, first or second homes, primary, secondary residences. Those are the types of collateral that we're talking. And yes, the building on the land needs to be functional because we're using that as collateral. So for instance, if the building has no value, then there's nothing to use as collateral.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
And great questions, Wilbur. We get them all the time. And before the recession 2008, I think most banks were offering using lot or land as collateral, but then they realized that after the recession, people walked away from those lot loans or land loans. So we no longer invest in those areas. Okay. All right, you guys are doing fantastic. How many gifts have we gone so far? Do I need to keep asking? We've given about 4, Tanya, do you know?
I'd say more like 6.
What if they are at 6 that I can't give any more?
I haven't counted for sure, but we're getting ready to wrap up, Dawn. So
okay, yes. Well, we're moving on to insurance. And of course, we do have an insurance agent on the line, so she will be able to correct us if our information is incorrect, right, Miss Lowe? All right. So this that's true or false. The first one is insurance helps protect your business so you can focus on making it grow, which is correct. So true or false, even minor mishaps can lead to large lawsuits. Is that true or false?
Typing a chat box. Miss Ophelia says true. Which is absolutely
great
correct.
job, Miss Ophelia. And you do have people, that I guess that's how they make a living too. They go about and try to get damage and then go out and sue your business. So definitely yes. Let's move on to if your business as employees, you should have workers' compensation insurance. Is that true or false?
All right,
Awesome.
Miss Ophelia and Miss Beverly says true, and that is 100% correct as well.
Okay. The next question, if you rent your space, you don't, well, the next one is if you rent your space, you don't need commercial property insurance.
Miss Ophelia says false.
All right, Miss Ophelia, she's on top of that.
On fire
And then, if you're young and able-bodied, you don't need to worry about having life or disability insurance.
Miss Beverly says false, Miss Helen says false, Miss Ophelia and Wilbur all say false, which is again 100% correct. Never
Awesome.
know when an accident is going to happen, so please protect yourself
And
and
as
your
I love-
business.
yes, and as I love to say, insurance is not if, but when. Okay, so good job. So now we're going to fill in the blanks. So general liability insurance can help protect your business from what? For someone, you know, who has like Roxy was been, okay, all right, good job, Miss Ophelia.
Well
Awesome.
said.
Yes. And then commercial property insurance can help protect your property from? Okay, lawsuit again, yes.
So the key word here is commercial property insurance.
What
What
else? What else?
happens to your property?
We are in Florida. What do we get all the time?
Has to do with the weather.
We live in Florida. Perfect. Yes.
There
Damage,
you go.
losses, hurricanes, and other perils. Good. Thank you, Ms. Tanya. Do you want to expand on that, Tanya? Since you're in the industry, you're the expert there, please.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dawn. Yes, so with commercial property, it does, the insurance policy will protect you not only from lawsuits, but the property section of it. For instance, if you are, in my case, I have I rented storefronts, so I have 2 sides are windows. So my insurance policy covers my windows. And that's something people don't really think about because it could, you know, not just for hurricanes, but if someone, well, actually in 2012, someone actually crashed into my agency. And so my commercial property insurance policy covered the damage to my furniture on the inside, as well as the exterior for the building itself. So it's a very important policy to have.
Thank you, Ms. Lowe. And of course, she's the insurance expert, okay? How about life and disability insurance? That can help you with what? Oh, thank you, Ms. Melody, welcome. Yes, good job. How about workers' compensation insurance? Can cover what? Does it says workers' compensation? Yes, thank you. And the employees as well. And what other type of insurance? Yes, employees, yes. And then the other is other types of insurance include what? What other type of insurance do we need or should we have that is not listed there? All right, Flood, Miss Melody, you are on a roll. Thank you. What other type of insurance?
Medical.
Yes.
Equipment.
Equipment insurance.
Malpractice.
That could be under the commercial property insurance there, Wilbur. Yes, malpractice, yes. Perfect. What else? What other insurance that all of us need? Talking about us personal, not the business now, personal insurance. What other? Best health, okay, what else? Okay, I'm looking for that magic one. Yes, dental insurance, yes.
What about long-term?
Long-term, definitely, yes. And in this day and age, we definitely need to have long-term care insurance, but there's another one, life insurance, David. Yes, thank you. Yes, that's the one that I was looking at. Not just insurance for the business, but all of us should make sure that we do have the disability, but also have life insurance, whether it's a whole life policy, a term life, or universal, but we should have some insurance. Because as I always say to my client, insurance is not if, but when. Thank you so much for participating with that. I do hope that you find that information there valuable then. So now we're gonna go on to talking about employees. Do we know the difference between a contract and a full-time employee? Right, so this session will talk about the difference between full-time and contract. So it says you are a seasonal business owner who needs some help with a particular service. You should hire. All right, Beverly. Go ahead. Good job. The other is you want to build company loyalty, work with someone long-term and oversee their work methods. You should hire a what?
Employee.
Full-time, right?
Thanks,
Full-time.
Erin.
Yes, type it in there. And good job, Miss Ophelia. If Bill receives payment after his service, he is what? If I just contracted Bill, okay, perfect, Miss Ophelia. And Miss Ophelia, what type of, are you a business owner? I'm curious. Mr. Ophelia? Oh, no. Wow. You do know a lot. Good job. And if Bill, okay, if Anita is on your payroll and is paid bi-weekly, she is a? She's on your payroll.
We're looking for one of two answers, either contract or employee. Those are the two answers we're looking for.
Yeah, she's only paid bi-weekly. That's the method. Perfect, Mr. Felix. She's an employee. Perfect, David. Okay, and we do have fill in the blank. Blank handles their own taxes, benefits, and marketing costs. What? Who is that? Is that an employee or a contract worker? Someone who, perfect. Good job. The next one is that blank works regular schedules with less sensitivity to market trends. Who is that person? Regular schedule. I tell them exactly when to come to work.
Perfect. David says employee.
Perfect. Anything to add on that session there, Kathy?
It's very important that you know the difference and that you pay your, if you have an employee, that you pay them as an employee and not a contract worker, so that you pay them via a check or a payroll source, not cash under the table. Otherwise, they're not going to have, you're not going to be able to use it as a deduction for payroll, and they're not going to be able to use it as income if they go to get their own loan. So it is important that you make sure that you know the difference between the two and that you follow the proper procedures for those.
Thank you, Kathy. And I think we're at the end of our presentation. We do hope that growing your business has provided you with the knowledge to manage, grow, and protect your business for years to come. Okay, so thank you again for your participation. And once again, thank you to the members of the Treasure Coast Links for offering this service and partnering with BB&T, now Truist. It has been a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful series. Thank you so much.
All right, good evening, everyone. I am Helen Lurie, and I just want to take this moment to thank Dawn and Kathy for the wealth of knowledge that you shared with us this evening. As we all know, as mentioned earlier in the presentation, 2020 definitely helped some of us pivot and do things a little bit different than we were doing, say in 2019. Some of us started new businesses in 2020. Some of us are aspiring to start new businesses. And I think with the information that you shared with us this evening, you have given us the tools to get started. So again, I thank you. To all our participants this evening, on behalf of the Treasure Coast Florida chapter of Links, we say thank you for joining our masterclass today. And I wanted to just give you a couple of minutes if anybody had any last minute questions for Dawn or Kathy. While I'm giving you some time to chat, to type up your questions in the chat, I also want to direct your attention to this QR code that's on your screen. If you have your phone, you can take a picture of the QR code. There should also be a link in our chat where you can click on the link, and that would allow you to access our survey. We are very interested in getting feedback from today's masterclass. So if you have any questions before we wrap up, just type it in the chat. Otherwise, just take a picture of the QR code and complete the survey for us. Does anybody have any last minute questions? No,
Let's see if we did good.
I don't see any additional questions. Did everyone get a chance to take a picture of the QR code? If anybody still needs to take a picture of it, you can just snap a picture of it on your cell phone and it should open up the link for you. Or if you have a QR scanner app, you can scan the code. Now, I know we had some winners for this evening. And upon registration, you logged on sharing some information with us, such as your email and address. So we should be able to get you your prize that way. So we'll go back and collect the name of all of our winners, and we will make sure we get those prizes out to you. Again, we want to thank you so much for your participation. We want to thank you so much for your participation. The information was definitely informative. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us.
Yeah.
Can we please get the contact information? All right. You can email us at tclinksnts@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, Treasure Coast Links Incorporated at inc.org. Quickest way, just take a picture of your screen and send us any questions that you may have from today's presentation. Again, thank you all. Have a great evening. And thank you again, Dawn and Kathy, for the wonderful information that you shared with us this evening. Stay safe and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Our survey is very important. Please complete the survey